So we're back to the wall. It makes you look pasty white as shit. And
I'm telling you, white balance. White balance.
I don't know. I like the contrast. It makes you look almost angelic.
Yeah, they say taupe is soothing.
Just some people. Don't judge. All right, so we're back here with Ron. Ron has hair again. It's like as long as I've known you, I've never seen you with it, so it's kind of off-putting for me.
Yeah,
I'm getting used to it.
To shave, I decided to let it grow for a little bit because I've been having other issues elsewhere, and maintenance and all that kind of stuff of your hair is actually quite hard for being bald.
I just assumed you were naturally bald.
No, I'm bald on purpose.
Okay, fair enough.
Actually, if I let this grow, I'll have a huge, humongous Questlove afro.
There's a New Year's challenge.
So no, not gonna happen.
Oh,
it'll get right here. I'll comb it and then I'll shave it again. I'll go bald. When I do my acting, I go bald.
Okay, so here to talk about Concussion, which is the last episode for season 3. So when after this, we'll officially start season 4 of the show.
This is awesome. I get to be in the last episode.
I know you're a bigger part of our channel, Ron. Embrace the camaraderie.
Yes, I will do that. I want some fan fiction about me. Get to work.
I know.
Get to work.
By the way, to the author of Karina in Wonderland, thank you so much. That gave me such a great laugh.
Holy shit.
Did you read that?
I just know that people are doing it. I saw that you said somebody was doing it. So.
Yeah, I found out about it yesterday. I read this this is amazing. This is amazing.
Hey, you should have him write for the show. Fuck it.
Not sure to go that far, but either way, I immensely enjoyed it. But anyway, so Concussion. I'm curious to see what you think of this movie, because my thoughts were kind of mixed.
Okay, so the going into the Concussion discussion.
I see what you did there.
See what I did there? Just know that I've done, before I even saw the movie, I did a shit ton of research because it was something that intrigued me. This year, for whatever reason, I've been watching a lot more football than I normally do. I've never been a huge fan of football. I mean, I've had family that played pro football. Mm-hmm. So, and the organizations did right by them. But other than that, I didn't really go that far. I'm a basketball dude. Mm-hmm. But this year, for some reason, I was just really intrigued by the stories surrounding the players in football, all the drama that's happening, all the stuff that goes on with the organizations, especially the 49ers. They're in, utter turmoil right now.
Oh, God.
It started, but see, this goes to the movie because it first started when they got their rookie draft pick a couple of years ago. And he signed, he got a signing bonus of $614,000, and he quit on them because he was afraid of concussions.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but if you knew this guy, if you've seen footage of him before, he used to leap out. He there's this one thing he did in high school where they were getting, the quarterback broke, and he literally leaped over everyone and flipped and tackled him backwards.
That's damn.
So that guy, as soon as he found out about CTE, which is discussed in this film, he quit. He paid them the money back. He quit.
I can understand that. Okay.
And so I've been doing research on this, and Dr. Amalu
since you're going to be your own background on this movie, I guess I should talk a little about my own too.
Yeah.
Because I come from my psychology background.
Okay.
So CTE is not a symptom I've personally studied all that much. Although after I saw the movie, I did my research to kind of to back it up. And I don't watch sports at all. Sports are not my thing. They never have been. That being said, I know a surprising amount about corruption in the sports industry.
Yeah.
Because I watched last week tonight.
There you go.
So I know a lot about
FIFA's the worst.
FIFA is awful. It's basically
FIFA's
mafia,
the worst.
and fucking college basketball
is bad.
It's really fucking bad.
It's really bad. It's been bad for years.
Oh yeah, and the fact that honestly, this majority of the stuff they talk about with the football league, whatever it's called.
Yeah, NFL.
NFL, thank you.
Yeah.
It's like that. I mostly believe all of it, with a couple exceptions.
Well, I wouldn't say that the organization is pretty corrupt. What I'd say is that they cover up a lot of stuff because they want to protect the interest of the company. Like all the teams, they're very hush-hush about the things that go on because there's this saying called protect the shield, right?
Yeah.
So protect the NFL shield, meaning, okay, you guys can go off and do whatever, but if it fucks with our interests, then we're going to hide behind the shield and everybody run for cover. You know, nothing's going on back here. Kind of thing.
I mean, it's not as, I'm sure it's not as bad.
It's not. The players are involved in worse shit than the organizations.
Although there is that whole threat, threatening move to LA thing whenever they want a new stadium. That's corrupt shit.
But other than the concussion issue, NFL usually keeps his nose clean.
Yeah, fair enough.
To in large part.
I guess there's just worse organizations out there.
Right. Well, yeah. Remember, teams are their own entities and they're owned by individuals, right? But all of the team owners have to decide what happens to the league.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like it's like a board, you know.
All right. So with all that being said, what do you think of the movie?
So here's what I think. I think this is a really brave subject for Will Smith to tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I know he had a controlling interest in getting this movie made. Considering where he's from and how devoted the fans are from Philadelphia, I question, like, why did you do that? You're going to hurt your own brand as an actor?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was very brave. I thought the piece was thoughtful. I thought it hit all the major points of the actual timeline in which it happened. A couple of choices that Will Smith made because he had to step so far out of himself to play the role didn't quite hit the mark. A few times. However, I did get the genuine sincerity out of him. Like Dr. Malu, the actual guy, he really thought he was doing something good. Mm-hmm. You know, when he found that out, he was like, "Well, this is great. They can figure this out. We can maybe work towards a cure or work towards some sort of workaround so they could change the rules and everything would be great." He did not realize the backlash that was going to come as a result of that, and I really feel that in that movie. I feel like he played that well.
I would agree on that. I think my problem with the main character, Dr. Malu, is I felt like they played him almost too perfect in a kind of
way. A little bit.
Like, I felt like he was almost, like, too flawless. Like,
right. Like, he didn't have any issues at all.
He doesn't really issues at all. And, like, especially with, like, his girlfriend/wife in the movie, is just there to be his comfort zone for the entire movie. She doesn't really do anything in any way whatsoever.
That is an issue. The only lines that she says just reinforce his opinion.
Yeah, exactly. That's also that's her only purpose in the movie is to do that. And
although she was very talented and very beautiful.
Oh no, she is absolutely. But her character did nothing for me.
Right.
But I will say is Will Smith, I think, did an excellent job with the material he was given. I did feel like he tried to, for lack of a better term, Will Smithify some of it.
Some of it, yeah.
Because I was like, even when he's doing a very authentic, was it not Norwegian?
Nigerian.
Nigerian, thank you.
Yeah.
Accent.
I was surprised.
Yeah, it was a very good accent. I felt like he was still trying to be the charming Will Smith from from his older movies.
Yeah, like Dr. Malu, I've seen him speak. He's not as smooth as Will Smith.
I figured as much. And that was kind of the problem. Like, I will say this, he did capture two aspects of the character, I think, exactly the way he needed to be, which is the most important one, which is the frustration.
Yeah.
Like that he captured.
Yeah, because he literally thinks that he's doing something just for the sake of science and people everywhere. Yeah. And he's getting shitted on this whole movie.
So that part was like, okay, that's kind of what saved the character for me a little bit. It's the fact that he perfectly nailed that frustration. Mm-hmm. And again, like I say, he perfectly nailed the aspect of just thinking he was doing good and then just getting increasingly angry that people keep shitting on him for.
Like the human sacrifice that he was doing. He was literally paying thousands of dollars just to do these autopsies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And nobody appreciated that shit at all. He spent $20,000 on one.
On each. Yeah. So it would make me wonder how much money this guy fucking had because he does that. He gets
the dude builds a house from
scratch.
The dude has 8 degrees.
I mean, brilliant man.
Real life, he has 8 degrees, literally.
Even then, I feel like some of the editing choices at the beginning were kind of weird, especially in the court scene, where it's I don't think this movie understands how courts work. Right. Because this guy's talking like a prosecutor for a good chunk of this monologue that they cut into weird pieces for some reason. I feel like you couldn't do that in one take, or I don't know.
I get it. I get you.
I don't know. I felt like I was weird. It was especially when he points against you'll be convicted, an innocent man. I can't do a Nigerian accent. So I'm not even gonna try.
You talking about at the beginning?
At the very, very beginning. Yeah. So I'm gonna okay, it's not the prosecutor's job to say that. You're just gonna okay, whatever. Well, yeah, that's a nitpick. That's a nitpick.
Well, I think what that scene is for, and maybe unsuccessfully, it's trying to show you how intelligent and how accredited he actually is.
It's an establishing.
Yeah, like the dude has so many degrees, the prosecutor won't shut him up. He just let him talk.
Whoa.
Yeah, you just let the man speak.
Hold on, it's Will Smith. We gotta let him talk.
Right.
He's gonna Will Smithify this.
Right, and but I do get what you mean there. I get the court proceed, but understand that in TV and movies, it's never like it is in real life.
Oh, I know, but at the same time, a little more effort in that would appreciate. Granted, that's a nitpick. I mean, my biggest problem with the movie is I feel like a lot of the characters were just kind of bland. maybe I like Alec Baldwin. Okay, but that's also
well, yeah, Alec Baldwin I think had the best performance of the film.
He did. He was great.
It was very, very understated, and because we know his face from so many other things, the fact that we could kind of believe him is a huge feat.
Absolutely.
You know, the fact that he can actually play somebody, and I can suspend my disbelief enough to know that that's Alec Baldwin there. You know?
It's like, well, I feel like this movie kind of falls into some biopic traps that I can't stand, and we've been blessed that this year we've had quite a few biopic movies that managed to avoid these traps. Like Selma avoided these traps.
NWA, Straight Outta
Compton avoided these traps. Spotlight did a phenomenal job avoiding these traps. But this one, it kind of follows the same cliches where like some characters are just there to serve one purpose and that's it. Yeah. Like there's a character Danny, is the guy who works in the order office.
Mike O'Malley.
Mike O'Malley.
You remember Mike O'Malley from Nickelodeon? He used to be a game show host for Nickelodeon.
Oh, fuck me. Bring back my childhood right there.
Yeah, but that was more my time than yours, though.
Yeah, like Double Dare? Or?
It wasn't, no, that was Mark Summers, but Mike O'Malley had a show for a while, and it just went off the air. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it was there.
Anyway, like his entire purpose for the entire movie is just to be antagonistic towards Will Smith, and that's
just talk shit to him though.
And like he doesn't even do anything. Like I heard the Dr. Cox's voice from Office Space in my head going, "So what would you say you do here?" Just like he's done nothing else except bitch the entire time. Even when he's in the work, he's just sitting in his office doing nothing.
Well, also his rational, especially when Mike Webster comes in there.
That pissed me off.
Well, the thing is that don't you want to know what happened to him?
I know, right?
Like, why would you hate on him then?
I didn't get that either. Like,
don't you want to know what the fuck happened? Don't you? He's like your fucking hero, right? And you can see obviously he's fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, like what? Don't you want to know?
I didn't get that either because I was like,
you know,
that's his job.
Yeah.
Let him do it. Why are you bitching about this?
If the body shows up there, you pretty much know what's gonna happen.
I know.
You know?
But he's like, no, you can't mess with that American hero and blah. I heard Sony made some changes to the script because they didn't want to piss the NFL off, and you can kind of tell where they did that.
And that sucks because that's what good art should do. Good art should make us question things.
I agree.
The NFL for years they acted like this was not a fucking issue, and they said it out loud. They made up these like fake scientific studies and was like, you know, they had the nerve to put in a scientific journal that a high school football player could get a concussion and go back in the same game.
Yeah, they pointed that out in the movie, didn't they?
Garbage.
It is garbage. And as someone, like, I'm not going to pretend to be the expert on this, but I've actually done some research about, like, journalistic articles like this, and it's like, it's unfortunately very commonplace. Or, I don't want to say very commonplace, more commonplace than it should be. And it's like, it happens all the time, especially when you get, like, corporations that are sponsoring certain studies. That's why cigarettes corporations were to get away with saying that cigarettes don't cause cancer for years. Right. It's because they sponsor these bullshit studies that prove nothing. Like that stupid vaccination bullshit that I can't stand.
Like what's going on?
The vaccination causes autism controversy. Completely falsified.
Yeah, I mean
there's not a single shred of evidence. It was one study made by one corrupt person whose results have never been reproduced, has proven to be bribed and proven in fake data. So that entire conference, that whole bullshit movie we've been hearing about for years, is based on a complete lie.
I get it. I get it. You know what I mean? And, you know, there is, well, what would I say? Like, homeopathic research states some things that say that you can be okay without vaccination, but you should still have them. You know what I mean?
That is also true.
That's the common research is that, like, if a person builds up their own immunities, you know, then they'll be okay, but why would you want to do that when you have the medicine available? I mean, like smallpox vaccine.
Yeah, like there's no reason that should be coming back.
Right.
Yeah, there's no
reason why you shouldn't be taking those.
Yeah, exactly. You know? So that's my big issue. I mean, that's a whole different topic altogether. But it ties into the fact that falsifying journals is unfortunately not all too uncommon. And I wish that wasn't the case. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to produce negative results.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it was just so startling. Like, I watched the PBS documentary before.
I heard that was really good.
It's so good. It's so fucking good. It's like they put it in 10 parts on YouTube, and I watched it all the way through. It's amazing.
Yeah, I gotta watch that because, like,
it's really good.
I will admit, like, this movie did make me curious, but like what actually happened, and maybe we'll want to look into what CTE was and exactly what caused it. Because honestly, just from a scientific perspective, the part where he's like looking at the slide and stuff like that, and like doing the research and all that stuff, that was the most interesting part to me.
Me too. Where you're seeing like these little tiny issues, just minute issues that people would gloss over before. were having the huge impact on somebody's brain.
Well, yeah.
You know, like.
Well, it's like even the parts where like you see them like slicing the brain up into little slides, which is something they actually do. Which I was actually like, okay, cool. I don't see that very often in movies, so it's cool to see that. And then you actually look at the slides, and I was like, oh, that's an unhealthy brain at all. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, the other scientist reaction, like, this guy was only 50 years old. There's no reason his brain should look this bad.
Right.
It's like that shit was like, okay, that's interesting to me.
And all the head trauma from Mike Webster, which gave him that little shelf that was on.
I noticed that.
That was real.
Oh, it was
that he actually looked like that at the end of his life.
Oh man!
And like the PBS documentary, they go into detail. They show him on the autopsy table. They show his feet. He was duct taping his feet.
Oh my god!
Because they were so destroyed. His legs and feet were like.
I mean, like I will say this. I think the title of this movie is a bit misleading because because I think I had the same reaction. A lot of people is like concussions. Don't we know hitting our head is a bad thing to do on a regular basis?
Yeah, but
this is CTE, not concussion.
But I think what they're trying to say by naming the title concussion is not necessarily the actual concussion itself, the metaphorical concussion that the league has been in.
I guess
you know what I'm saying.
I see what you did there. That was clever.
I guess that's the way I look at it. I think of the butting of heads between science and popular culture.
For me, I was more like I think they want to call it CTE, but it just wasn't a snappy enough name, so they went with concussion instead.
Maybe. But, you know, you know me. I'm art house, baby.
Fair enough. I can respect that.
I'm artsy fartsy.
I don't know. I guess one of those things. It's a good movie. It's just not. There's just better biopics that came out this year.
There are. It succeeds. It succeeds in the vein that the topic is so fucking interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it makes you sit there and at least want to finish it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
I agree on that. Cause the stuff with like this conflict with NFL and kind of like how they react to it and how they try to like adapt their reactions.
Yeah.
Is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of CTE, while also horrifying in the way it portrays people, is also kind of fascinating in its own way.
Yeah, and see. This answers so many questions for me that I had in the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. When this started to happen in the early 2000s, like it felt like almost every other month you'd hear a story about an ex-football player shooting themselves. Mm-hmm. But they were always shooting themselves in the heart or in the chest. And I'm like, why would you do that? Now I know. They wanted their brains studied. They wanted them studied. Remember the guy that was in the NFL office and he wrote the letter saying that Amala was right? He shot himself in the heart. Junior Seau shot himself in the heart. You know what I'm saying? These guys wanted their brains looked at.
Man,
that's so fucking crazy.
That's so fucked up.
You know?
I mean, like, CTE is a real problem, and it's something we absolutely should be talking about. Unfortunately, it's still not a thing we're really doing anything about.
Yeah, at this moment, well, what I've heard from the NFL did make one statement on concussion, and they said that since the release of the information and since the confirmation that CTE was an issue in the NFL, they've changed 25 rules regarding contact and head hits. You can no longer do straight up head hits. It's forbidden. You get thrown out of the game for it.
Oh, that's good.
So
good.
Yeah, so it's a start. They're making a few changes here and there. Nowhere near the amount of stuff they should have been doing.
Yeah.
And they set up this player plan. It's called the grid,
mm-hmm.
and it set up the player plan for if you're ex-football player and you have a family and you come up with some debilitating disease at certain time periods, you get the X amount of money to deal with it. Right.
Okay.
So like Junior Seau, for instance, when he killed himself, he was 40 years old. So under the new grid plan, he would have gotten paid the maximum of $5 million if it had been diagnosed that he had CTE while he was alive.
But how do you?
He could have got the treatment.
Like, how do you even get diagnosed with CTE when you're still alive? That's
I have no clue.
Maybe that's part I kind of find out. Like
maybe MRIs or spinal tap or whatever. I don't know.
Like, I don't know. You have to take some kind of sample. I don't know how you do it. Cause CT can't detect it because the swelling's not big enough. That's the problem. Because like it does cause swelling, but swelling is so minute and microscopic, can't tell.
But it also has signs of CTE can also be spotted because it has the same symptoms as dementia.
Yeah, so
that'd
be a trigger. But I would it kind of different like. I'd be really curious to see if like there's any actual treatment for this at this point.
Like if you got dementia at 40, then it's probably CTE.
More than likely. And if it hit your head a lot, that's probably good.
Right,
like something's probably wrong.
So they've set up this, but it's not just for CTE. They've set up this grid to kind of deal with former players because that was a huge issue for a while. Like especially the old quarterbacks who got severely injured in the 60s and 70s, they got literally nothing. They had no health plan at all. You know,
really?
Yeah, they could barely pay their own house payments and stuff. Like Johnny Unitas, famous Colts quarterback, he was like the shit. And he begged the Players Association and the league for money, and they just did not give it to him.
Oh man,
you know,
sports are cutthroat, dude.
They are.
Sports very cutthroat. That's I wish I could say that's the reason I didn't like sports. On the fact that I was just never athletic and I sucked at all of them. I'm still the only person to this day who's ever whacked himself in the head with his own golf ball.
Holy shit.
Yes.
Holy shit.
It's going to be a bit of a tangent, but I got...
See, I wish I would have been your friend back then because I've been good at every sport I've ever played, but the one thing that I know is that you're not just instantly good. It's something you got to put to learn a new skill. You got to put at least 21 hours into it.
No, I was just never athletic.
You know
like
what I
my dad took me to the driving range like every week for a long time. I never got
play
good
golf?
to play like just swing balls and stuff because he's a big golf guy. So he was doing a kind of a father son bonding thing when I was a kid. But I was the only person. I put the ball in one of those little rubber tees, and I took a swing. Still makes me laugh thinking about it. And the ball flew up, hit me in the face. Landed on the ground.
How did that even happen?
Rolled right back to starting position.
How did that even happen?
Because I hit under the tee, so the ball flew straight up. And there was even another time when I hit a ball right at the corner, one of those little wooden booths, and the ball seemed to fly off, hit one wooden pole, fly back, hit the other wooden pole, fly sideways, hit the third hidden pole, and then fly right over my head into the field. I know, this all happened. This is 100% true. I can't make this shit up.
Well, at least you do reviews well.
I was like, maybe sports aren't my thing. That was around the time. I'll do theater instead. I can do that.
There you go. Theater should be a fucking sport.
Really? I mean, yeah.
It's that intense.
No, I agree. I agree. And just a few shows I've done, I was like, I'm good. I don't need to do professional for a while anyway.
Yep.
One day. Anyway, back to the movie, though. I mean, like... There's not as much to talk about as there was with like Creed or like any movies we talked about.
It's true. This movie held my attention for all the right reasons because story.
Yeah.
Hollywood, take note. It's a good story. People will pay to see good stories.
I mean, it's like I always kind of take movies that say based on a real story with a grain of salt because like they even admitted to making dramatization of the story.
True. They changed some things around, but it's about 98% accurate.
Except for the FBI thing, and that's kind of what annoyed me about this movie.
The FBI thing was real?
It did, but it happened months before he even made the discovery.
That's true.
That was kind of a bit of falsifying, like, rearranging real events to suit the purpose of your story.
I see what you mean.
To a bit like a misleading effect, because that kind of implies the government gets involved too, which was not the case.
I see.
So, like, for me, I thought that was misleading, and then there's a whole scene where it looks like somebody's following Will Smith's wife around, where it's like, okay, I'm willing to believe they're willing to do some sketchy shit, but I think that even that makes no sense whatsoever for them to do that.
Well, the NFL probably wanted dirt on them. I'm sure they send people out to do stuff like that. I mean, if Scientology does it, then...
Well, that's Scientology. Scientology is full of whack jobs and scam artists.
Well, see, NFL is full of those kind of people, too. Do you know... Okay,
Point taken.
Google Roger Goodell. You want to know how shady that dude is?
His name sounds familiar.
He is the commissioner of the NFL.
Oh, what has he done?
Okay. What hasn't he covered up? What hasn't he done? Okay.
Fingers and below, I don't know.
Right, but no, it's not that. It's that's run of the mill for NFL players.
Point taken.
Okay? But no, I'm talking about like just cover up after cover up after cover up, and this is just one of the many cover ups that happens during his tenure as a commissioner. You know what I mean?
Oh man, sports. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I think I've really just been paying more attention to the way the world works this year. And so, like, if I saw this movie a year ago, I would this shit didn't happen. There was no way that was this corrupt. And watching it, I was like, oh no, I believe it.
But yeah, there's been consistently news story after news story about something going on in the NFL for like 10, 15 years.
Well, just in in every major sporting corporation we got going on. We had the whole FIFA thing this year, the more college student BS is coming more to light. People are talking more about this stuff.
Well, yeah, that was huge this year, where the college students walked out and they demanded to have a union so they could get paid and stuff. That's huge.
Oh, did they get a union?
I don't know if it actually happened, but I know that they were holding out for it and they refused to play and all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
good.
Yeah, it's good because
they get screwed over.
You're wearing a jersey without a name on it,
mm-hmm.
right? And they sell that jersey at the store because they know you're the player. And everybody goes and buys it because of your name and you make no money off that.
Well, it's also the video game rights and like the lack of like the school curriculum they have is insane. The schedule they have is absolutely insane.
Yep.
It's a fucking mess. Like, the sports industry is a fucking mess. And granted, a lot of stuff is a mess in America right now, which is unfortunate. But I think, I will say that I kind of say a thing about the Big Short, which I do think is an important movie because it's a topic we don't talk about often enough. But I'm not sure it's quite a level like this movie is mind-blowing.
Well, the revelations in the movie are mind-blowing.
That is true.
Because the implications of CTE, they're still echoing throughout sports.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not just an issue in football. You know, soccer has the same issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, don't even get me started with fucking rugby. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't wear nothing. You know? They don't wear any kind of pads whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I heard rugby's a pretty cutthroat sport.
Yeah, rugby is ridiculous. All right? But just to say that, you know, the implications of CTE, like, the way it ages the brain and the things it does to it.
Oh, it's horrifying.
Have ramifications in the NFL that could put the NFL out of business potentially. It is now been decided scientifically that 28% of all NFL players will contract.
Yeah, I
CTE.
think they said that at one of the title
You know what I
cards.
mean? Yeah, that's more than a quarter of all the people you see on TV now.
That's horrifying, man.
That like 15, 20 years from now, we could see them on the news killing themselves because they had CTE.
That's a fucking scary thought.
It is, and that's what I'm saying. That's why this movie, the revelations in the movie are mind blowing. The way that the film is shot, the way that the actors are, not.
That's kind of my point, though. Like, the topic is important. The movie itself doesn't quite portray it in the powerful enough way I think it needed to.
Right. And the gravity of the situation gets kind of lost on you after a while. Like, I think that's because Will Smith does such a good job of making the thing about him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he makes it. We're more worried about Dr. Malu in that film than we are these players dying.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that's kind of weird.
I don't know. I felt really bad when that guy from Lost died.
I felt bad for Mike Webster, dude, because he was the pride of his city, you know, and he's living in a truck, like putting ammonia on his face so he can stay awake because it's painful for him to sleep. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
I mean, it's like, I've seen so many horrifying videos just this year alone about people with mental illness and like the shit they go through on a daily basis. And the channel is like another case where I would not have believed this a year ago that this was bad. I watched it and I was like, no, that seems about right. Like, that seems about like someone with a really fucked up brain would do. Yeah,
and this also raises the question. We see so much domestic violence with football players. We see so many things that go wrong in their lives, and we're kind of thinking, okay, maybe maybe you guys shouldn't be allowed to do certain things after you play football. You know, like hold public office. Like,
well, that's a really hard point to argue too. Is like, is it CTE related or is it just like who they are? That's kind of a different argument.
Well, from what I understand, it's from blunt force head trauma, and that's because
I mean that is how CTE is caused. My point is like for some players, like the domestic violence stuff like that, it's like, is that just kind of the kind of person they are, or is that because of CTE?
Well, that's what's drawing this into question, right? Because we're like guys like Junior Seau, guys like Mike Webster, guys like Mike Webster's friend in the movie who was on the offensive line as well, who ended up shooting himself in the chest, might add, right?
Wait, wasn't that the guy who died in the car crash?
You know, he died in the car crash. You're right. It was the other guy in the NFL office that shot himself.
Yeah, that's one.
But yeah, the guy who dies in the car crash. Remember, he's getting into abuse in his family too. Yeah, there's a little bit of that, and I'm starting to wonder that maybe halfway through their careers they're getting in these fights with their wives. They're doing all this crazy stuff at home. Maybe that's a result of.
It's entirely possible. The evidence is certainly there. It's such a sketcy argument to make because we can't find a way to detect it without them dying.
But you're probably gonna make. You'll probably take enough hits to get CTE in football just off practice.
Probably. Yeah,
you know
probably.
What I mean?
It's just the head trauma is such a tricky thing. The brain is such a sensitive organ of the body. It's also the most important one we have. So, like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know why you commit that time to football. It just means, like, fucking with that most important organ you have next to the heart.
Right.
Like, I don't get that. Like, I mean, I value the shit out of my brain. I can't imagine beating the shit out of it like that.
Yeah. But for some, I mean, sentimentally, I mean, you know, me and my wife had this discussion, and she was like, well, if they're not going to get better health care for these players, then I don't know if I could support it. I don't know if I could watch the NFL. And I'm like, that's entirely your opinion. But here's the thing. I watch the NFL and support this not for the teams, not for the organizations, for the players who've worked their whole lives to do this stuff. And if they're going to go out the way they want to go out, I'm more power to them. I'm not going to tell them how to live their life. but the skill that they've accrued over time is a testament to how hard they've worked. That's what I support when I watch football.
I mean, like, I think they kind of touch a little bit on that movie too when they kind of talk about, like, yes, it is a good sport, it is a very powerful sport and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, these are still problems we need to address.
Absolutely.
Which I kind of wonder if that might have been a little bit like Sony's hand a little bit, tweaking the script just a little bit to, like, appease the NFL.
I think that's how Dr. Malu feels, though, because and remember that this movie is being made as a result of him putting out his book, talking about the whole ordeal, and he had a large hand in the movie as well. Like, he's in all of the interviews with Will Smith. They sit down and talk about it together. Yeah, good. Yeah, like the press junkets and stuff, and I think that's how he feels as well. I think. The reason why he was so surprised with all the shock and the vitriol he got was the fact that he didn't care either way. He was just an objective person. He don't watch football.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? but I think through the movie you kind of get that point. You really have to see it to understand why it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You got to understand these players' stories. For some people, it was their only way out of a bad situation. For some people, it's the only thing they've ever been good at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those kind of things. We got to honor that too.
It's such a tricky situation.
It is.
And I feel like there's no easy answer without completing the rules of football.
Right. So, and which they have. I've noticed. I've actually noticed a remarkable difference from the 80s to now. Mm-hmm. Like in the 80s, it was brutal. Like people were doing like human missiles. They were like jumping, like quarterback standing up. This dude would literally jump and boom.
Like, you ever see Wolf of Wall Street?
I have.
The part where they throw them in.
Yes.
Little people.
Yes, but like for real.
Yeah.
Like watch. Go YouTube or Google some hard NFL hits from the 70s and 80s. They are brutal. Brutal. Some of the worst shit you could imagine. I'm surprised that all of them don't have it.
It's like, just what I know of brain trauma now, I just watch this stuff and go, ooh,
yeah,
ow, why?
Yeah.
Stop.
But it's nowhere near as violent as it was back then. Like, today is tame by many standards. Yeah, like you can't even hit the quarterback hard anymore.
Good.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Because, I mean, if you stop him, you stop him. You don't have to be all crazy.
No. You don't go like Pumbaa from Lion King.
Right.
They call me Mr. Pig.
But no, I like the film for that reason, because it's addressing issues. This is what good art should do. Mm-hmm. It should call things into question. It should mess with your perceptions. Mm-hmm. It should get you talking. Yeah. Like we are now.
Yeah.
So
it's doing something right.
Yeah, I believe it's worth your money to go watch. Mm-hmm. I do.
I would call this more of a rental for me personally. Like, I say definitely watch it, but I'm not sure I'd pay full price in the movie ticket to go see it. Like, if it's a matinee, okay, fine. But like, this movie would probably pop up on Netflix, and then when that does it, you should definitely go watch it.
For sure.
But,
yeah, it'll probably be out soon.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like, we're at the end of the year. Next week is another big slew of big movies coming out. It's January, so most of them are probably gonna suck.
Yeah,
but it's still gonna.
But this movie, because of Will Smith being as charismatic as he is, this is Oscar bait. It's already gotten the nominations for
Is it really?
For Golden Globes.
Oh yeah.
He's already been nominated for Golden Globes. So if he picks up a Golden Globe, there's an Oscar chance for him.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if I call this movie Oscar worthy for me.
I didn't say it's Oscar worthy. I said it's Oscar bait.
Yeah, it's Oscar bait.
Yeah, you can almost see him say, like, he's sitting up there, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Submit it for your approval.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's his Oscar seat. Like when they show and the nominees are Will Smith, it's gonna be tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Yeah. You can spot those movies around December time. It's like, oh, that's an Oscar bait movie.
Yeah, it's Oscar bait.
The Revenant's totally doing the same thing. I died already. And the best Clint Eastwood impression. Oh, that movie looks fucking fantastic, so I can't wait to see that one.
I'm sure.
You know The Revenant, right?
I've seen a bit of it. I'm not gonna go see the movie. I got limited finite time, so I pick and choose my battles in that.
Apparently, like, this is all my time goes to doing this channel now, because fuck it.
I gotta keep the lights on in this office, man.
I know. Yeah, I gotta eventually pay to be able to afford her office. So that's what I'm hoping for anyway. So if I go see bad movies, apparently a lot of people want to go see My Opinion on, because Alvin and the Chipmunks has almost 550 views.
Why?
Because I yell at Patrick for an hour. That's why.
Yell
That's why.
Okay, well then there you go. At least, hey, good TV. Fuck it.
I know, right?
Good internet TV.
I got some people going like, I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. Thank you. I was like,
That's good.
You're welcome.
That's good. Keep them coming.
Right?
Keep them coming.
All right, so I think it's pretty much all we got on this. You got any final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's definitely Oscar bait. I see what they tried to do here. It's not. It seemed like everything was in place for it to be great, but just ended up being good.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
If I had to choose between this and The Big Short, which is the other big like kind of biopic that tells also a movie that's meant to kind of piss off the audience, I would say The Big Short is better.
Okay.
But they're also very, very different movies. I think The Big Short is a little more well researched though, and kind of like the situation, a very intelligent movie. But yeah, I would still recommend it, although I wouldn't pay full price for it. So kind of take that as you will. Next week is season 4, and we got tons of shit going on, including The Revenant, which is a movie I'm excited for. As far as I'm concerned, no the movie
maybe
exists.
I'll have to see it now. If you're excited,
I'm like the same director made Birdman. Made this movie.
Oh, okay.
And Birdman was my favorite movie of last year. Like, absolutely adored that film. So I'm really excited for that one. The trailer makes it look intense as shit. So I'm excited.
All right.
And it's also gonna give me so January.
So I'm just gonna warn you right now.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters comes out in July, and that's a 2-parter.
They made it into 2 parts.
No, I'm saying the video of me ranting about how bad it is going to be 2 fucking parts.
That's going to be good. That's going to be good internet fodder right there.
Yes, and I'm inviting everybody from the cast to come here, and anybody who likes that movie, I'm going to take a dump on them. On this camera right here.
Well, hold on, bro. You're supposed to be
anybody.
biased. You don't want to show too much bias when the movie comes out.
Bro, you don't understand.
I mean, who knows? Maybe Smurfs 3 will be great. We don't know.
Fuck Smurfs 3 in advance. But no, Ghostbusters, all signs point to...
Yeah,
boom.
no, I'm
Okay?
with you. Actually, I don't like his... I mean, I don't like the director all that much.
And but I mean, Paul Feig, I mean, I barely know his work, but I won't get into it now.
Yeah, we'll wait till July.
I won't get into it now.
We'll wait. Give us some time. Wait till summer.
But you might need to bring the camera with you when we watch that movie. We might need to just sit in the theater, and I might need to just rant for 30 minutes there.
I'll bribe the people at the
I need
theater.
to rant in the fucking car. I need to rant at the office. And then part 2, I'm just going to sit here in this chair and just rant.
You know what's going to happen is we're going to just like make it a road trip. We're just going to pick up burgers while you're still getting angry on the side.
Let's do it.
That would actually be great, actually.
Seriously?
It's like, hi, can we get 2 cheeseburgers?
Yeah. Because that is my favorite film franchise of all time. Sony waited like a bunch of bitches to make the movie. Harold Ramis died, which means you lost an intelligent writer for the series. And now you come with this bullshit.
To be fair, were they kind of waiting on Bill Murray?
It's not. Well, Bill Murray agreed to do the video game, and they all got back together and did that.
That's true.
So what I think Bill Murray is waiting for is waiting for a script that does it justice, and that's not just for the sake of doing a sequel. I think because they shafted him on Ghostbusters 2. If you listen to his interviews, he says that the reason why he wouldn't come back for a sequel after Ghostbusters 2 is, number one, he started beefing with Harold Ramis over
their whole feud.
Creative ideas, and that bled into Groundhog Day, right? And then the second one was because he felt like the special effects took over the movie. And he is absolutely right. If you watch the first Ghostbusters movie, we barely ever see the proton streams. We barely ever see a ghost. It is brilliant filmmaking. It's brilliant set design. It's brilliant lighting. Everything about it is great for its time. You know.
So let's just build up the hype for the Ghostbusters review
now.
Look for that in season 4, guys.
Okay.
In the meantime, we're gonna record some other stuff, talk about other projects we got lined up for this year. So it's gonna be a good year. We have high hopes. So,
trailers?
I only got Batman vs Superman. I got like 1 trailer.
Okay, I've seen that one, and like I said, I still get the same feeling.
Yeah, I've kind of talked about this before.
Yeah.
It's like we're both thinking.
Like, why are we not excited?
Because it looks.
Why not?
Because it looks like they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, well, you know what? And I'm afraid for the woman that plays or that plays Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I think we talked a little bit about that before too.
Yeah, because she's
being
she doesn't fucking say anything. She's so if the trailer's any indication, she's fucking window dressing. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm more worried. I think she's gonna be fine. To be honest, I think she's gonna be okay. Not great, maybe, but I think she'll be at the very least okay. I'm more concerned about what the hell they're doing with their villains. Like, I I kind of dig Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor.
I dig it too.
At least somebody's having fun.
Right. Well, but also it's more modern. He's the boy genius, and it works because we've seen him do it with the Facebook story, and we've seen him do it here. But it works that a young Lex Luthor genius man, you know, to me, Lex Luthor is such a complex villain in the Superman universe. I wondered why they made him as old as they did. I've always wondered that.
Because that's always kind of the way it's been in the comics. That's the way it's been in the TV show.
But for as old as he is and as cultured as he seems to be as the rich dude, he seems so fucking immature when it comes to Superman. And I think Eisenberg fixes that.
I think, well, people often identify as like the definitive Lex Luthor is not the one seen in the Christopher Reeve movies. It's the one we saw in the Superman cartoon in the 90s.
The black dude.
Yeah, the one that like...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, I think that's like everyone's view, and especially like as the season went on, and like when his character was brought back in like Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, they expanded that character a lot in a lot of interesting ways. So like, and not to mention he had a great fucking voice actor playing that part too.
Right.
He was still like, so that, for a lot of people, that's their definitive Lex Luthor. Much how like Mark Hamill's a lot of people's definitive Joker.
True.
So when we go into a new project, that's often what the first thing
there is no other Joker.
I know. Mark Hamill is the Joker.
Mark Hamill is the cartoon voice of the Joker. Heath Ledger is the movie Joker. Done.
Well, we'll see how Jared Leto
we'll see.
does. Like,
we'll see.
But I'm willing to give him a
chance. I think they're looking to take him in a different direction.
Like, I mean, Jared Leto is a fantastic actor.
I agree.
He's a phenomenal actor. I mean, like his role in Dallas Buyers Club, phenomenal.
I remember when he was in My So-Called Life.
I never saw that
one.
That
old school MTV TV show.
No, like, he's a great actor, and I think he really commits to his roles. And apparently, the behind-the-scenes stories, he really fucking committed. But,
yeah, I believe it. I believe it. It just doesn't seem. It doesn't seem like stock Joker, and stock Joker's kind of fun.
Define stock Joker.
Stock Joker is, I don't know why I do this. I'm just doing it. You know what I'm saying? Stock Joker is like stock, and also stock Joker is like, if Batman ever smiled or laughed, Joker would be okay with killing him. But until it happens, he's not gonna kill him. You know what I mean? That's stock Joker. It's like, why the fuck can't I make him do this, right? Why are you so fucking serious?
I know, Joker has had so many iterations of comic books and the TV shows and the movies, and every version is different. All of them are correct.
Yeah, for me, like, I like Heath Ledger's explanation of it in Dark Knight, where he's like, I'm a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do if I actually caught one. You know, that's the mentality of Joker, I think.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by stock Joker. It's like sometimes I have a specific purpose in why I'm doing this. Sometimes I'm just fucking with you. You know what I mean? And like most of the time, I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah,
you know?
more or less.
Like, because I can.
Even New 52 Joker kind of took that premise and just fucking ran with it to fucking Saw level degrees at some point. Do you see the New 52 design they had for a while?
I've seen some, yeah.
Like the freaking like peeled off face. He has fucking like stapled to his face.
Right. So they're going with the chemical burn on that one then.
No, that one he had his face carved off by someone called the Doll Maker.
Oh wow!
So he decided to take what was left of his face and just put it back on.
Cool.
It's okay. He's back to normal now because comic books. Anyway, do you want to talk about Suicide Squad while we're at it?
I haven't seen the trailer. I've seen the publicity photos. I mean,
this is a really risky year for comic.
It looks like
movies.
a B movie.
I don't know. It looks. I mean, the trailer made it look okay. I'm not sold on it yet, but it has potential. I think it's a good time to talk about like the very risky comic movies that are coming out this year, just in general. Because we have Deadpool, which is a huge fucking risk for Fox, because there's so many ways that can backfire on them.
Ryan Reynolds, first one. Number one.
Ryan Reynolds is like perfect as Deadpool.
He's born to play the role, but will he fuck it up? He's already fucked up twice.
Again, to be fair to Green Lantern, that movie sucked. But
please don't be fair to Green Lantern.
Hey,
that's like my favorite comic book hero.
So it's mine too, and I accept that piece of shit. But I gotta say, at least Ryan Reynolds was fucking trying.
It's true.
He was the only one fucking trying in that movie.
But he didn't understand who he was playing.
No, I agree. He was playing Kyle Rayner. But
yeah, and that's Hal Jordan, completely different guy, completely different motivations.
No, I completely agree.
You know, like that's all I'm saying.
No, I completely agree.
And I think if Hal Jordan was gonna be that weak, they should just done it for Jon Stewart.
Green Lantern is that movie that Ryan Reynolds himself makes fun of all the time.
Then why make it?
Because at the time, I probably thought it would be good at the time because they fucked up the script so many times in that movie. I think I was watching an episode of Conan or something like that.
What's your excuse for R.I.P.D.?
Money. He needed the check. But no, they made a joke and like it's like Green Lantern 2 rated like OG what was it? NA for Oh God Not Again or something like that. But I don't know. Like I'm willing to give Ryan Reynolds credit. I think he can be a good actor when he wants to be. I think he needs to find the right role.
I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying that don't be an irresponsible actor.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't see the script in the mail. Oh, Green Lantern. Yes, I'll do it.
Yeah, fair.
You know what I'm saying? Don't do that.
I mean, like, actors can have good intentions, like they're doing the right thing with the role, and they can be completely wrong. We've seen it in comic movies all the time.
It's true.
But, like, other comic movies, we have Suicide Squad, which is another huge risks. And then, of course, Batman vs. Superman, phenomenal risk, because that movie fucking sucks critically.
Well, yeah, like, why even do it?
Because they want to catch up with Marvel.
Why not just continue the series? And Marvel's going too fucking fast. Don't follow their lead.
I think we...
You know?
I don't know, like, Marvel's at this point has earned my faith enough to, like, okay, even the movies that should have sucked, they made at least okay. So I'm willing to give them a chance, even though it looks insanely risky, like with Captain America 3.
Speaking of that, I finally watched Fantastic Four.
Oh, God.
Finally watched it. I didn't hate it as much as you did.
Oh, that piece of shit!
I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it.
It was what? Okay, you have to explain that to me because that movie was awful.
How do you see it's awful though? Like, explain yourself first, so I can sort of try to formulate my thought.
Okay. Well,
so why do you think it's awful? Because I sat through it. There was never anything in it that made me cringe. I mean, it wasn't spectacular, but
well, like okay.
I mean, it's obvious that they're changing the whole story.
That's not my issue with it. I mean, first off, from a comic book standpoint, it's not a Fantastic Four movie. It's just not.
Right.
It kind of goes into some of you were saying. We were talking about like characters before. It's like they got all the characters completely wrong. Mm-hmm. The acting is bland and shallow. The writing is awful. They take some of the comic books and like shoehorn in the most painful of ways. Like the whole collaborating time thing mean for abusive brothers. Like that's making something that was lighthearted and making it needlessly dark for no reason, just to make it dark.
Just to make it.
Just to make it dark.
So you think?
Hold on, I'm not done. I'm not done. I got more. Okay.
Go ahead.
The story is absolutely a fucking mess. It makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Dr. Doom as a villain is just lame. He has no character.
The Dr. Doom in this one is better than the other ones, though.
Honestly, I prefer the other ones.
You prefer the other one where it's peeling off his face and shit?
I'm okay. In comparison, it looks a lot better.
I like that it gets stranded. I like that.
I'm okay with that part. My problem is when he comes back, his motivations make no sense. His powers make no sense. He looks like a rejected Doctor Who sex toy. He fucking does. I mean, look at that god-awful design.
Okay.
And their big surprise saying for beating him in the end is, oh, we're just going to punch him a few times, even though it makes no sense why they should be able to do that. The rules of the universe are so loosely defined, the movie makes it look almost ashamed as a superhero movie. And overall, it's a ton of just loosely thrown together ideas that don't work.
Did you know they greenlit another one?
I heard they did, but it's also in production hell right now.
But okay, so I get everything that you're saying, and I have issues with movies like this too. Sometimes they put a name on it that doesn't fit the story, right? Mm-hmm. It's like you take the name Fantastic Four off of it, you give it a different name, you give them all different character names, it all of a sudden becomes a B movie on Netflix that's mildly entertaining.
Oh, this isn't even a B movie. This is like Z movie shit.
To me, it didn't hit me that hard.
Fair enough.
It didn't hit me. Then again, I'm not a huge fan of Fantastic Four either.
It's not one of mine either, but I know enough of them to know that this is garbage.
Yeah, I know it's not right. But I like that they tried to do something different. I mean, at least the risk taking is there. At least at least they tried to prove that they wouldn't be so formulaic, and they made it into something completely different.
And yet it's still formulaic.
It's formulaic in its own way, but not the way we've come to expect from superhero movies.
I'm not sure I'd agree on that, because it does kind of have the team coming together. Oh, they have conflict at first, but will they get together and fight the big bad guy? Oh, I don't think so. Of course they're going to do that. See, this is why the angry reviews get the most views.
That's hilarious. Hey, that's okay. I had my Kylo Ren rant. You can
this is my Fantastic Four angry rant.
But yeah, like I said, it didn't move me one way or the other. It didn't move the needle for me. I just kind of watched it and I'm like, oh, okay, you guys tried. I mean, I saw the original Fantastic Four movies in the 90s that they won't even show to anyone.
Yeah.
Okay? So me seeing this one, I'm like, oh, okay.
With the Corman film, I think it was.
Yeah. Yeah. So seeing this one is sort of like, okay, you've come a long way.
The most fun I had watching Fantastic Four is playing a game of Spot the Reshoot. You know how I knew that? Because of Sue Storm's fucking wig.
Oh, shit.
Throwing the cutlet down. Because you could tell it was like kind of a...
You talking about Jessica Alba or are you talking about...
No, I'm talking about the new one.
Oh, the new one, okay.
Because you could always tell when they had to do a reshoot. Because they did reshoots months later after the movie was filmed. Because it went from dirty blonde to bright blonde for no reason for like 5 minutes. And then back to dirty blonde. Just to throw in dumb lines like, Dr. Doom over here, right? Fuck off.
That's hilarious.
You made one of the most interesting and complex Marvel bad guys into just a dumb, teeny bopper douchebag hipster.
See, and I tried. That's my thing. I don't think there's a whole lot of depth to Doctor Doom. I never have. Like I've always seen him as like second string bad guy.
He's gotten more recently with like the Secret Wars arc that's going on right now. He's got a lot more depth. But I mean, like even then, even the most basic form of Doctor Doom, they completely fucked it up. Is it really that hard to make it just an egotistical bastard who rules a fucking nation? Is it that hard?
No.
So why is it taking 4 movies and we've never gotten it right?
Now see, if they would have made him the young hipster who is denying his lineage, and maybe he goes back there after he gets the powers, then maybe that would have worked.
Maybe. I just have, like, problem is, like, Doctor Doom should have a presence. He's this big, powerful man. Whenever he enters the room, he's, whether you agree with him or not, he's in charge. That's the kind of person he is, or at least he believes he's in charge. So that's the kind of person that you need that presence.
Yeah, this is sort of like high school Fantastic.
It was like, oh, you're taking my girl, man. I don't like you. That's his entire character. His crush on Sue Storm is not even a big thing in the comics. Why has this been in every fucking Fantastic Four movie?
It's true.
Sorry.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right in that regard. It's they do make it a big deal because remember the writers probably come from a more traditional aspect where they need to create drama somewhere where they're like, oh, it says in this comic book that he does this, let's blow this out of proportion.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like that's.
I mean, just Dr. Doom hates Reed Richards because, quite frankly, Reed Richards is a bit smarter than him.
He's smarter than him. That's the only reason why he hates him.
That's pretty much all you need.
It has nothing to do with Sue Storm.
No, and that's absolutely nothing to do with Sue Storm. Why did making about that?
He could give a fuck about Sue Storm.
That was kind of a big issue with the newer Spider-Man films. I mean, I thought those movies were okay, but at the same time, it's like, why are we making about Peter Parker's parents? Peter didn't even know his fucking parents.
Right.
It was all about Uncle Ben. That was his whole reason for doing this.
I think they got the Gwen Stacy thing right.
That was good. I'll give the Gwen Stacy stuff was good. But yeah, that rant aside, well, I'm gonna have a lot of time to do the worst list next week.
Beautiful.
You just remind me how much I hated that movie. That's just got like moved up a couple notches on the list.
Hey, whatever. But I'm just saying because I'd seen you rail against it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna pop this. And it didn't move me. Didn't move the needle.
Fair
enough.
Didn't
move the needle.
If you didn't like absolutely hate it, okay, fine, good for you.
Yeah,
like,
I mean it's not great.
No, not
it's
even,
not great,
no,
but I kind of just watched it. I was like, okay, it's the middle of the night. I watched it. It's over. Whatever. Next movie.
With the Doctor Doom sex toy.
That's funny. That's
all right, we're gonna wrap this up.
How the shit molded to his body. Because
he just walks around the hallway like a... and people's head pop up on the side. Oh my god, a stare of doom is killing me. Ah! That's my strangely vague superpowers. Fucking bullshit. Anyway, sorry, I'm done. I can't go into this anymore. So look out for the best.
It's your show, man.
Yeah, look for the best and worst videos next week. It's
gonna be interesting.
I know, right? The worst always get more views than the best.
Of course.
Because of course.
Such is the nature of American society.
Internet. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all next week.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.